Hey there, this is Jennifer with NorthwestStamper.com, and I am back today to share with you one of my favorite new tools from the Stampin' Up! Occasions catalog, from this 2016 catalog, and that is this amazing die brush. Now, it's one of those things, there's a lot of things in the catalog that are really easy to miss. This is one of those things, so I wanted to give you a quick tutorial on it because I also know that when I went to Stampin' Up's demonstrator on stage in event in November, there were a lot of people that were trying it out and it worked a little bit different than we expected. So I wanted to show you. Now, this die is really good for two different types of, this brush is really good for working with two different types of dies. Either things like this that are pretty intricate but have lots of holes, where you maybe in the past got frustrated that you die cut it out and then you had to poke it out. I know there were lots of hacks out there, like using dryer sheets and things like that, which worked really well some of the time or all the time for you. For me, it was hit or miss. And then if you ever use any of these dies that are really solid, these are the ones especially that you're really going to want to use these brushes. So let me show you how you do this. So first I'm just going to run through, I'm just going to take some basic gray. Now I'm using my Big Shot and I'm using my precision plate. Any of these that are particularly detailed, especially this type that has a lot of lines, you're going to want to use the precision plate. It's metal and so it won't bend or curve like some of the plastic plates. Over time they start bending and curving on you. So this you use as your base plate instead of one of these. I put it on my magnetic platform. Now I will warn you, when you put it on a magnetic platform, it makes your top plates warp pretty badly because it's pressing so hard. You may try using this on your multi-purpose platform, putting it with all the tabs down and doing that first. You just have to run it through a couple more times, but this is great. But the one thing to know, and this is why they sometimes tell you to be careful, is that it's because this is metal, it snaps on and it can pinch your fingers. So just be careful about that. So when you use the precision plate, you put your paper, you put your die. It's not magnetic anymore because this metal is magnet to the platform. It's not able to get through. So just be aware that that will slide. So anything you care about it being magnetic, don't use the precision plate. So we'll just set it on there, put this on top, and we will cut. You may find that you want to, especially on, like I said, on these that are really detailed, you might run it through all the way through and then bring it back once or twice just to really be sure. So I'm going to cut these out and then I'll show you about this awesome brush. Okay, now I've finished cutting both of these out. They've actually been run through. And so with this one you can see it was cut through, so you can just pop that out. Now with the precision plate, sometimes the cardstock will come all the way through, but in cases like this, it didn't come through. I didn't use wax paper, I didn't do anything like that. And now normally I would go through with my piercing tool and poke. So what you can do to kind of get it started is if you set it down on here and you just run your brush through a little bit, you're just rolling it back and forth, is it starts popping some of the pieces out. Now I find it doesn't get all of them right away, but what this does a great job of is you see it knocked a lot of them out. Well, it actually knocked almost all of them out, and it popped right out of there as soon as I flipped it over. So that saved me so much time from doing poking. It perfectly got everything out. So then you can just take this, tap it off in your recycle bin, and you're ready to go for your next project. So no wax paper, no dryer sheets, no muss, no fuss. Really easy, right? Okay, so there is our butterfly. So then we have this intricate heart. So, and I'm hoping I ran it through a couple times so you can just sort of peel it off. In some cases, like this right now, it actually was the whole thing was peeling off because there's one spot that wanted to stick. But let's say it was still in your die. So it's the same thing. And that's the nice thing about the precision plate. Sometimes everything just comes out. So you can do the same thing just to kind of get the pieces out, but you'll notice here that a lot of the pieces are just little tiny dots, so it's a little bit harder to get them all to pop out. So what I do is I will pick it up sometimes, like if it's sticking, and I will just hold it up and just poke, and that just makes everything pop right out. So now it's right out of my die, but I still have all those pieces, and we don't want those pieces. So you can just set it on here, and just roll with your brush, and it just helps knock all those little pieces out. So I'm not having to sit there with a piercing tool and poke them all out. You can just run it over. And with some of these detailed ones, you want to be gentle because you don't want to tear it up too much. You might flip it over and go the other way. But this will help get a lot of those pieces out so that then if you need to, you can go back through and just kind of hand poke out any of the extra little bits that didn't want to come out. But it just makes it so much faster to get all those pieces. And I sometimes will go through when I have a lot. I'll knock them out because it makes it hard to see where I need to brush. And I can just come back over and poke out a few more. So, and with these, there's so many little spaces that you may have to hit a few, but really that's better than all the poking that you've had to do before. And in some cases, you may find like here, there was one little spot that just did not cut completely, and so that's why it wasn't getting knocked out by my brush. But I find that this is a lifesaver between my butterfly over there and just being able to knock out a lot of these little pieces without me having to mess with it. It just makes it so much easier. So there you have it. This quick and easy tool. This really will, gets used a lot in my craft room, and it's really nice for just not having to worry about all those pieces. If you've seen any of the big rose dies, I'll use them too to just roll to knock things out. But I do, as a tip, when you're doing this, especially when you have some of these, like the little dies that are in here, these little flowers where there's not really much space, you can try to do a little bit of rolling to see if it comes out, but some papers really don't. So don't hesitate to pick it up and roll it from the side just to get that paper to start popping away from the die. So I hope this was helpful, kind of showing you the good things about it and how nothing is ever exactly perfect, but it sure does help a lot from sitting and poking through with your piercing tool. So I hope this helped and gives you some new things to try and a new tool that you're going to love. And yes, just as a side note, this foam pad comes with the brush. They come in a little box so that you can, if you want to store it, you can, or just throw it away and keep it and have this together. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, leave me a note and I'd be glad to help. Take care and happy stamping!